This routine will be fully seated or lying down on the mat. Please note that this routine is not meant to cure depression or to be a substitute for professional mental health support. The purpose of this program is to help you move gently and have self compassion when experiencing depression or low mood. You might want to have a folded blanket or towel to hand to sit on or to support your knees during kneeling postures. Make sure you grab a sip of water and let's get started. Just so you know, the lav mic situation was all over the place today. So I've gone back to voiceovers so the sound isn't so wonky. I'll probably play with this a while longer to see what ultimately sounds best. Let me know in the comments if you have a preference for voiceover versus the lav mic. Our first move will be a gentle seated cat-cow. You can see that I'm sitting on a folded blanket to help support my hips. I'm inhaling, rounding my back, and exhaling, arching forward. All of these moves today will be slow and gentle. Feel free to play around with the movement, maybe circling your hips. Do what your body needs today. In this next warm up move, we're going to reach our arms out like we're grabbing a big ball of energy. Exhaling, we're pulling that ball of energy together with our hands. Inhaling outward, exhaling, pressing inward. You can imagine one of those Hoberman spheres where you can pull the edges of the ball to make it expand. And then exhale, pressing the ball back together. Our first whole body movement is Little Bear Gathers Fish. It's an adaptation on Big Bear Gathers Fish. Pretend like your arms are a net and you're going to extend forward, scooping arms overhead. At the top of the movement, turn palms down and press. Again, scooping up overhead and pressing palms down. Often, people don't understand that with depression, it isn't as simple as just getting out of bed or doing something that feels good. When I'm depressed, it's really hard to imagine anything feeling good. It takes a lot of energy to gather momentum to do the simplest things. I appreciate the effort it takes getting up and doing some gentle movement today. Be kind to yourself. In my experience, trying to muscle your way through depression only makes it that much harder. And again, we're scooping forward, overhead, pressing palms down. Next, we're moving on to a move called bird dog. Please feel free to place your blanket or towel under your knees to provide cushioning. Start this move by just extending one leg behind you. I'm resting my toes on the floor. You can lift your leg if you'd like. Just remember to choose gentle movement. Now experiment with bringing the opposite arm forward and down. And switching sides. Seeing how the movement feels before we move the arm and leg together. Now, you can begin to try the leg and arm together if you'd like to increase the heat a little. Remember to have self-compassion. Do what your body needs. I'm keeping my toes in contact with the floor. You might decide to lift your leg. Do whatever feels right for you. Go ahead and move the towel or blanket off to the side. This move is called Superman. Legs are about as wide as your mat, arms extended by your sides. Inhale, lift your chest and hold. Come back down. When you come back down, you can place your head on your hands. Inhaling, come back up, squeezing shoulder blades, squeezing your bum. Lower down, switching the direction your head is turned. Go at your own pace. If you need more rest between moves, take more rest. Again, inhaling, lifting your chest, breathing steadily, and exhaling lower. As we transition to the next move, grab a sip of water if you need it, and then come lying on your back for pelvic tilts. Now, this is a very small move. Start by feeling your tailbone pressing into the floor. Now, you're going to Scoop up your tailbone so your back is pressed flat against the floor. It's a very small movement. If it feels good, maybe hold the scoop for a few seconds and then release. You don't have to change out of your pajamas or loungewear for this. However, you come to the mat today is just right. Whatever movement you're able to offer this practice today is just right. Now we're going to add a glute bridge to this movement. Tilt your pelvis like you just did, and then slowly lift your bum off the floor. Tilt and lift. Lower back down, rolling one vertebrae at a time, letting go of that tilt. Again, we're tilting, then lifting our hips off the floor. If any of these moves don't feel good to you, change it up. Go back to any of the moves that felt good to you from the beginning of the practice. We're finding a moment of connection to our bodies, getting out of our thoughts for a moment, taking a rest. Going at your own pace, scooping pelvis, raising your hips, and then lowering. Now stay in this same position with your knees bent. Arms are going to come up overhead while you keep that same pelvic tilt. Here we go. Tilt the pelvis. Arms come up overhead, keeping that pelvic tilt. Don't let the back arch. Bringing arms back down towards your sides. Again, pelvic tilt, arms up overhead. If you have tight shoulders like me, you're going to feel a stretch. It should feel nice. Bring those arms back down and relax everything. Try focusing on keeping the back flat throughout the entire movement. Again, arms overhead. If you feel your back arching, try widening your hands so that your shoulders or your arms are farther apart. Over time, the stretch will lessen as your shoulder mobility improves. Our final working move is pendulums. Lift knees to 90 degrees and let them fall to one side. Use your core muscles to come back up and let your knees fall to the other side. Keep it a nice, slow, and controlled movement. You can adapt this move by using a bolster. Place a bolster on either side and rest your legs on it as you come over, which will prevent you from going so deep into the movement. Again, slowly moving from side to side, initiating movement from our core. Even with this gentle program, we're going to do 2 cool down stretches. First is figure 4, bringing opposite ankle to opposite knee. You can place the supporting foot on some blocks to make it easier. If you'd like, you can also reach forward and grab behind the thigh. Feel the stretch along your outer thigh. On your next inhale, switch sides. Use blocks if you need them, or interlace your hands behind your thigh. Always choose what's right for you and adapt these moves however you need to. Breathing deeply, relaxing into the stretch. Allowing yourself to feel grounded in your body. Our last move is a wonderful side stretch called banana. Grasp opposite wrist with opposite hand and start to stretch your upper body to the side. Outside leg on top and bend into a banana shape. Getting a lovely stretch along the side of your body. Inhale, straighten back out. Switch the crossing of your hands. Now switch the crossing of your legs. Start with the upper body, making that C shape. Then let the lower body join. Again, feeling that stretch along the side of your body. Taking these last little moments for yourself today. Inhale, straighten back out. Make any final movements that you need. As you exit this practice, take it slow. Roll onto your side before pushing up into sitting, moving slowly so as not to get dizzy. Take a moment to imagine the next thing you'll do to take care of yourself today. Thank you for taking the time today to practice self-compassion and gentle movement. I look forward to seeing you again soon.